End of the day, we have a hard drive, a bunch of hard drives on our Linux system. And on that hard drive, what we have is basically a structure, directory structure that allows us to save certain files and directories in certain folders. I want to give this relevancy to your home. You know, we live in a modern society and we all live in homes or apartments, right? Let's just say if this is the door in to get into your apartment or house, this would be considered a root directory. And then over here you have your bedroom one, and over here you have your bedroom two, right? And right over here you have your kitchen, right? And right over here somewhere you have your bathroom, right? And right over here is your living area. What you have is basically a very well structured place to live. So you can live a disciplined, organized life. You know, when you come in from work or from outside, you go right into your bedroom. You don't sleep in the bathroom, do you? Or you don't sleep in the kitchen. What's wrong with sleeping in the kitchen? Well, technically there's nothing wrong. It's just the smell is there, and plus you don't have a bed over there, and that's not your place. Your place is to stay in your bedroom. And just like that, your sibling's place is in their own bedroom. Living area is the common area where you all sit and talk and watch TV. So just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Linux has given us a directory structure. Imagine a hard drive, and on that hard drive, Linux has created, when we take the Linux operating system and we install it onto this hard drive, we will be given bunch of files and directories. The main directory is going to be root. This is the base line for the file system. And then everything falls under this directory. Let's say if this is a directory, and under this directory we have a lot of other directories, subdirectories we can call them. And I am creating these folders so you can see that this is a container. This contain other directories, or it can contain some files. So if I look at some of these directories that exist right under the root, one thing that comes to my mind is the /bin directory. Now each one of these directory has a role to play. There's a /home. There's a /etc. Just like each room in your apartment or house has some role to play. It's a storage place for you, right? And even within your closet, you have different departments, right? Different areas of storage. And you may have small bins over there to store your undershirts, to store your t-shirts, to store your socks, ties. I don't know how well organized you are. If you don't have all of these things, then what you have in your closet is a mess. Nobody wants to deal with the mess. And what happens is when you have a mess, it requires a time to find things from this mess. That's why the Linux operating system and Windows operating system and Unix and Mac, they have a specific way to organize the files and directories that are very much needed by the operating system to run. For example, the bin directory has all of the commands that you use, period. For example, You use the ls command, you use the id command, you need the host, you use the hostname command, you use the nmcli command, you use the exit command. They are all found under the slash bin directory. Let's go ahead and take a moment and log into our Linux server. And let me see how many of you are logged in over here. I see 82 winners over here. And because these are the people who believe in practicing, you know, the more you get hands on with Linux, the more it's going to stick in your brain. Let me check now. How many? 90, thank God. Go ahead and log into Linux, please. I don't know. For some reason, today's class seems like slow. There's no energy. People are like, oh, whatever, man. This guy is always talking about his class, the paid class. I'm just here to learn something for free. God damn it. Make it easy for me. They say there's nothing free in life, right? Yeah. No, but this is actually free for you guys. And I'm going to guide you, those of you who are here for free stuff. I'm going to tell you what courses, what direction you should be going into. See over here, how many of you are logged in? 113 people are logged in out of 170 people. Explain this to me. Anyway, no problem. We'll take those people who are on board with us. I want you guys to cd into slash bin. Remember, the cd command is always used to change directory. So let's just imagine this scenario over here. Imagine that my PWD says slash home slash Asad B. Now, basically means I am logged into Linux and I am sitting in this directory, which happens to be in this directory, which happens to be in this directory. So this is the root file system. And then there is another subdirectory, which is this right over here. This right over here, subdirectory. And then this has another subdirectory right over here. So if my PWD is this slash home slash asad B, and I want to go to slash bin, that's where I want to go to. What this means is I want to get into the bin directory, which happens to be under the root directory. I would use the cd command. Cd space. This basically means space. No, you don't have to put that. Just leave a space over there. Hit the space bar and then put cd slash bin. Come over here. ls. If you see, ladies and gentlemen, these are all the commands that we work with daily basis. If I want to see how many commands are there, I will type wc-l. No. -l. 1,542 commands. Don't worry about this command for now. Don't worry about this. I don't want to teach you this. I just want to show you. There are 1,542 commands. You don't have to know all of these commands. The max, maybe 150, 200 is what we will be using on a daily or monthly basis, honestly speaking. Okay. So, okay. So now we are in the bin directory, and if I do pwd, I'm in the bin directory, and if I do ls, I can see all of the files, and that these are all the commands like I was talking about earlier. So all the commands are found under the slash bin directory, and this is what this says over here: essential command line binaries. Binary in Linux means command or a program. Okay. By the way, if you're a weekend student and you're getting logged out every week and you don't practice during weekdays, me and you, we're not going to get along. I'm sorry. Okay. We're not going to get along. The slash boot directory, it basically helps the system to boot. So all the files and directories under the slash boot, they let the system, they will allow the system to boot, they rather assist the system to boot up. Boot means to start. So these are the essential programs that will make your system start up when you are restarting it. Okay, now I want you to go into the slash boot and I want you to explore that. Now you are in slash bin over here. So let's come back to my this OneNote over here. Imagine this over here. Everything in under root, right? And under root, I have this tree. I have slash bin. I have what boot. I have home. I have temp. I have Etsy. Okay. So if you are in this directory right now, which PWD will reveal to you, and you want to go into this directory, what's the command to use now? The command is change directory cd, and then you put this directory where you want to go to, slash boot. Why can't I just simply type just the boot over here? Because if you type just the boot, the cd command is looking under the bin directory, and it's under the impression that you are sitting in the bin directory. You're over here and you're trying to go to boot, which if you don't specify the root, it will try to find over here. Well, it's under the root. That's why you need to be specific. This is called absolute path. When you specify something, for example, cd slash boot, you gave the whole path to get to this directory. And that's called absolute path. If you don't understand it for now, perfectly fine. If you understand it, good for you. Let's go ahead and explore this directory. I want you to type the ls command, which will show you the contents of the directory. And these are all the booting files, all the files that help our system to boot up. So I am over here, slash bin. Now I go to cd space slash boot. Okay. Now you're in the slash boot directory, and if you type ls command, you will see all the files in this directory. So again, let's take a look at the commands that we know so far. We know that pwd command will show us the present working directory. Present working directory. That basically means which directory you're sitting in. Let me show you over here on the command line. pwd. It shows me I am in the boot. Let me show you the tree command over here. The root directory by typing cd slash. Now I have come to the base directory. It's called the root directory. I type pwd. Now if I type the tree command, oops, you see I'm looking at the whole tree. Oops. If I say tree slash, again, I'm looking at the whole tree. If I say tree slash home, it will show me, look at this, it will show me all of your directories. And of course, I cannot list the contents of those directories because I don't have permissions. So the tree command can help you. If I say show me what's in the bin directory, take a look at this. It basically maps out. It shows you everything and underneath that as well. Okay. If I say tree slash boot, take a look at this. Tree command, show me the contents of the slash boot. Slash boot has this file. It has this directory. It has this subdirectory. It has another subdirectory. and then there's a grub2 directory, and I cannot read the contents because I don't have permission. These are a bunch of files over here. Another directory, file, files. Okay. So we also know another command called the tree command. Okay, now, okay, I want all of you guys to go to your home directory. And the second command that we know is the cd command. Whenever you execute the cd command, it basically means to change directory. If you compare it with Windows, I showed you on Wednesday, if you were here on Wednesday. If you are not a bad deal. You can get the recording on the YouTube channel and watch the recording. If you look at this, I showed you over here. In Windows, the base directory is your C drive. Okay. And then everything is under the C drive. And then you have users over here. You have USAD, you have ASAD, you have your program files, and each one of these folders have bunch of other folders and subfolders. Every time you click on this folder, just because you have a graphical user interface, you have the ability to click on them and you can go right into that folder. In Linux, it's equivalent to running the cd command, because think of Linux as somebody that removed all the images from your life, and now you only have to work with text. You understand? All the images and the ability to click, double click here, double click there is gone. Now you have to think about commands, the text. That's all you work with. So the command to change a directory from one directory is cd. Now it depends on where you're going. If you specify where you're going, life is good. cd/boot, cd/bin, perfectly fine. Alternatively, you can also do this. cd root, take me to root first, then come over here and then type cd boot. This also works. This is two-step. That's one step. Choice is yours. Nobody's going to put the gun on you and say, hey, use this, use this. Your choice. Now, I want you to go back to your home directory. Now, what is home directory and why I keep talking about home directory? Anyone that logs into Linux system is considered a user. You and me, we are both users of the Linux system. When we log into Linux system through command line or web interface, whatever you're using, by default means it's given to you. It's God-given right by default. Yeah. By default means it's given to you. Operating system gives it to you. By default, every user gets a home directory. Just like in Windows, over here, if you see over here the C drive and go to users, these users present, public, USAD, ASAD, they all have their own folders. These unique folders are designed for you to store your stuff. In Linux, same idea. All of the users will get a directory under the /home directory folder. Directory folder. Absolutely wrong. Directory and folder are the same things. Slash home is a folder, slash home is a directory. So, slash home will have a lot of subfolders or subdirectories. And that's where all of your usernames directories are found. If you are a user, you will have a directory called A. It relates to your username. My username is ASAD, sorry, ASADB. So what would be the path to my home directory? Help me with this. What would be the path to my home directory? By the way, the person who just joined today, you're going to be hella confused. Don't even try to get this stuff. You got to watch the previous YouTube videos. Okay. It would be slash home. I simply asked you path. Do not give me the command to change to it. Aha, pay attention to what I say. Slash home slash ASADB. User Alex, user Alex logs into the system. What would be his home directory? What would be his home directory? Slash home slash Alex. So now if I ask you, where are all the users' home directories kept? The answer would be slash home. Now, no matter where you are at in the file system, when I say where, I mean to show you this map. Right here. These are some of the main directories under your root file system. This is the root, everything is underneath. We can find slash var, we can find slash opt, we can find slash. It's missing some of them. Some reason is missing some of them, but I printed out over here. This is perfect. So the slash home, ladies and gentlemen, home directories for users. Now it makes sense. And then the library directory slash lib has the essential shared libraries and kernel modules. I don't know what that is. Don't worry about it for now. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Yeah. This is basically to add additional software packages. Remember, when we install operating system, it gives us thousands of files and directories. This is what we are looking at right now. We haven't created our own directory or a file as of now. We haven't done that. We're going to do this. If I want to create a file or a directory, where would you think is the best place for me to create files and directories for me? Where would that be? Under your home directory. Ladies and gentlemen, lingo in IT industry is everything. That's how your interviewer will understand the depth of your knowledge. Lingo. One of the things I want you to pick up in this class is the lingo. No, that would be under slash home because every user gets a home directory and that's their playground. That's their home. That's where they should be creating new files and directories. So, is this important for us to know all of this directory structure and really spend hours and hours learning what goes on in each file, each directory? With the passage of time, you will know it. Today, today, for the most part, I want you to know this. All the commands live under the slash bin directory. I want you to take a moment, cd into slash bin, and do the ls command. And then tell yourself, oh, all the commands that I'm using, including the pwd, the cd command, the ip command, the nmcli, the hostname ctli, the lscpu, free-h, uptime, w, who, exit, clear, all of these commands are residing under the slash bin. Understand that. Second thing I want you to know today, and put this in your brain, not in the RAM. RAM basically means you're only storing it temporarily. And when I talk about something else and I walk away from this topic, it's gone. I want you to store in your permanent storage device. What is that permanent storage device in the computer? It's a hard drive. How do you store in your brain? You have two sections. One is short-term memory, which is RAM, and one long-term memory. How do you store things into the long-term memory? By repeating it, by saying it out loud, by acting like a crazy guy. All the commands reside under the slash bin. All the Linux system commands, all the Linux commands reside under the slash bin. That's it. You're storing permanently and then coming back after 10 minutes. Where are the commands? Under slash bin. Okay, perfect. Now, come over here. There are commands that are used by you, me and you, regular user. And then there are some commands which are system related commands. System that control the system. For example, you want to shut down the system. For example, you want to change something in the network configuration. So those commands are found under the slash sbin. Essential system binaries. Remember I told you binary is a sophisticated word for commands and programs in Linux. So we're going to use the word binary. Lingo, ladies and gentlemen. Add this to your lingo dictionary that I asked you to create for this class. We're not going to say commands. We're going to say binary. Hey, can you give me that binary? Can you give me the binary, a command? I could also say command because some of the interviews are also going to ask you for the command. Some may refer to this as a binary. System binaries. Let's take a moment over here, ladies and gentlemen, and go to the system binaries. Where is the system binary you said? Slash sbin. Ah, but how do I go to slash sbin? cd space, because when you're using a command, when the command is completed, you need to separate it. So use the space. This is one command. Now you're going to tell what to do with this command. Hey, cd command, take me to slash sbin. Linux should talk to you. Linux should make sense to you. There's no memorization in Linux. The recta will not work over here. No memorization. Some of you come from the memorization background. No, remove that from your life. cd, hey cd command, can you take me to the slash sbin directory? The question I should ask myself, did I give the complete path? This is called path. Path means how do you get to this directory? Have you covered all the directories in between to get to it? Well, there's only root and then there's the sbin. So I've completed the path. So now let's go ahead and hit sbin. What did I tell you? The system binaries, the system commands. You want to know what are those commands? Type ls. Type ls and just take a look at it. What are these some of the commands? My God, they look scary. Am I going to be working with this scary stuff for the next 6 months? No, not unfortunately. For the rest of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I was watching a video by this guy who went to MIT school. He said something which was beautiful. And he was talking to all the Desi people. He was an Indian guy, very smart guy. And I admire smart people. And he said, people talk about chasing their passion and doing something which they are passionate about. Yes, you can have a passion for music. Yes, you can have passion to help humans. Yes, you can have passion to help the wildlife. Or you have a passion to teach, or you have a passion to save lives. Don't make this your career. Don't make this your career. Get a career that will pay you good in your life. Make it your passion. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what I did. That's what Nasser did. That's what Saim did. That's why we are financially successful as of today. I never knew anything about Unix, but I jumped into it. Did not know anything what I was getting into. I made it my passion by doing it over and over and over again till I get it. Now it's my passion. I call it my passion. I like to teach, but I teach Linux. All right. So you gotta make it your passion. All right. So these are some of the system binaries over here. Okay. At the beginning, you're going to have a pain in your brain, right? Because you're learning something new. But eventually, it will talk to you. It will speak to you. It will be in your dreams. You're gonna feel like you're in love, just like when you felt when you were 16 years old. Believe me, you're gonna tell me this. Oh my God, I was dreaming about these commands. Okay. Your voice is cutting. Is that right? I want to talk about another file system over here. So far, you know two system, three system, file system, three directories on top of your head. Like even if I woke you up in the middle of the night and ask you, "Hey, what is the slash bin?" All the commands in the system. Hey, what's the slash s bin? All the system binaries, all the system commands. Okay, what's in the slash boot? All the files that boot up the server. Okay, all the files that boot up the Linux. Okay, very good. What's in the slash home? All users directories. Very good. Excellent. We're making progress. Hey, what's in the slash temp directory? Temporary files. Temporary files. You downloaded something, you can download it in the temp directory. You want to copy some file, take a look at it, and you don't want to accumulate, you don't want to use space in your home directory, dump it in the slash temp. Anything can be put in the slash temp. Question. Can I leave a copy of my birth certificate in the slash temp? Can I leave my social security copy in the slash temp? Oh, everybody will have access to read that. Everybody will have access to read that file. Well, if you put provisions, but yeah, everybody can see that file is there. So be considerate. The slash USR, ladies and gentlemen, all the programs that are installed, additional programs that are installed. There are some programs under the bin. There are programs, commands under the sbin. Additionally, you want to add something, you add it to the slash usr or you add it to the slash opt. Okay. So far, so good. Slash root. Well, while everybody has a home directory under the slash home, root, who's also a user on a Linux system, gets a little special treatment. Okay? Just like you treat your mom and dad a little special. They have their own king size bed, they're comfortable. Just like that, we're going to treat root a little special. So therefore, root is going to get its own independent directory, not under slash home, but just slash root. Does that help? Slash root is user root's home directory. For security reasons, for respect reasons, we give it a special directory under root slash root. So that's root's home directory over here. I think I just want to add one more over here, slash xc. These are files, configuration files, files for system and applications. Do you know the word file? Or do you know the word configuration? Do you know what it means to configure something? Do we have configuration in humans? Yeah, if I want to change your behavior, if whenever I give you a pep talk, I'm configuring your brain a little bit. I'm tuning it a little bit. So in Linux, we have programs. Programs have special files. They're called configuration files. They basically are there to change the behavior of the program. And we will look at that later. What do you mean by behavior of the application? We'll talk about that. For now, it's just important for you to know the slash etc directory has system related files, some important files, system related files, configuration files. Understand that? By the way, does my pep talk work on you guys or it makes you more rebellions? And that's the question I like to ask everybody because for some of you it works. For some of you, you're like, whatever, man, you're going to teach me life now? I'm goddamn 50 years old. You're going to teach me life? You, not me. I didn't say I'm 50 years old. Don't take my words against me. All right, let's continue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play a little game over here. Uh, this is root. This is home. This is user A. User, sorry, no uppercases. User A, user B. And this file is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I want you to give me a command to go to user directory. I want you to give me a command to go to user homes B, user home, user directory. Quickly. So the path would be this slash at the home and at the B. Simple as it is. At every step of this, at every step, just add a slash. So slash, which is next, home slash B. And then bring in the command cd. Beautiful. Beautifly. I like you guys. I like you guys. Now let's do, I want you to get to this. Give me the path to this file. Path to the file. I want to see how many of you get this right. Path to the file. Path to the file. Path. Aha. Somebody says slash home A2. So you said slash home A slash 2. I likes you. I likes all of you guys that gave me just this path and did not give me CD command. If you guys that did give me CD command, you have a listening problem. All right? You need to listen carefully and pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm sure you have a listening problem overall, but we're going to fix listening to me for now. And then we will fix your other life problems, okay? So if you gave me CD slash home slash A slash 2, you have a listening problem. I said path. I did not say how would I get there. I said, give me the path. I didn't ask you to change directly to that. That's number one thought. Number two thought is, if I have a file, can I CD into a file? Can I CD into a file? Is file a container? Is file a folder? Can I CD into this? So all of you guys that are giving me CD slash home slash A2, what were you thinking? Where's your brain? First of all, you don't have a listening skill. Second, you're telling me to cd into a file. Did I say a file or no? It could be that I didn't specify. My bad. My apologies. I did say that these are some files, but anyway, we're not going to go into that. I take that back, okay? I take that back. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Up. Let's do this. I want you to give me the path to the three. Path to the three. Quickly. Let's do this. Go to your home directory and then give me this directory structure. So you go to your home. This is where you guys are going to make a mistake. And I'm telling you this, you're going to make a mistake. 70% of you are going to make a mistake. Period. How do you go to your home directory? Always type the cd command. Type the cd command and then do pwd. Cd pwd will always take you to home. Cd command will always take you home. No matter what mistakes you made, no matter how bad you've been, no matter how brutal you were, it's always going to take you home. Linux is very forgiving, okay? Even though you made some mistakes, it's going to take you home. Now, cd command will take you home. You are in your home directory. I want you to identify your home directory and write the path to your home directory. Quickly. Quickly. Slash home, Harissa, Memnoon, and Junior T, Shariar. Please repeat the question. The question is, you are in your home directory right now. I want you to type out the path for your home directory. And I see some question over here from Bushra and Abu Bakr. Bushra, I know what you're going to ask me. You're not going to like my answer. So I'm not going to take your question. I'm going to go to Abu Bakr. See, there you go. Some of you are telling me slash home. Some of you are telling me slash home. Can we write this for home directory? No. Give me the path. Yo, folks, the path to my home directory is this. Take a look at this. This is the path to my home directory. What is so difficult about this? Yeah? What's so difficult? Slash home slash your username. Boom. Folks, I'm not yelling at you. I get excited when I'm teaching. Okay, I get into that zone, like I'm locked in my own world and I'm doing weird things and crazy things. This is me. You got to get used to this. I would never yell at my students. Yes, locked in versus geeked. Exactly. you know, you got to appreciate my energy, the passion I have, the drive I have to do this, for you guys. It's not easy. Teaching this stuff is not easy. It's brain daunting, but I love it. Anyway, so now this is the anyway, so let's do this. In your home directory, I want you to create this tree. So I'm going to leave this name alone because if I put over here user, you're gonna start thinking, oh, where is slash home slash user? I'm going to leave this alone because that's your username. All right, let's come over here. Now we're going to learn how to create directories. Class 2025. Red Hat. I tell this story every year to my students. I had a student. It took me 6 months to explain that this is Red Hat. He would say Red Hat. Till this day, Red Hat. That's just the accent he has. software. He's a most senior engineer right now. This is like 11 years ago when we had this conversation. Linux. Okay. OS. Under OS, I have Linux. I have Unix. I have Windows. Windows or Wind, whatever you want to create it. I have 95. I have 98. I have 2022. Under Unix, I have Solaris. I have HP. Lowercase. Under Linux, I have Kali. I have CentOS. I have Real. Go ahead. Let's create this structure. How do we do this? Let's come back to this. In order to create a new directory, I would type mkdir and then the name of the directory that I want to create. That would be, what's the first directory I want to create? Class 2020. Okay, let's create class. Then I would create mkdir 2025. Then I would create mkdir. All of these directories at this first level over here, Red Hat and OS. Red Hat, I can also do this. I can create two directories at the same level with one command. Look, mkdir, create a directory, the name of the directory, the name of the second directory. mkdir creates a directory under any directory. Okay? All right, so now I have to see what I have over here. See how beautiful the tree command shows me. It shows me I have 2025 directory, I have class directory, I have file one, which is a file, I have a OS directory, and I have a Red Hat directory. Let me do ls. And I see all of these over here. Now, I don't know if this is a file or a directory. So I'm going to do ls-al, like I taught you last time. And I want you to take a look at this one more time over here. Take a look at this, ls-al. I'm going to go over this one more time with you guys. Even though you have recordings, but some of you are weekend students and you don't believe in studying, you don't believe in giving time to yourself, you have a lot of other important things to do, such as destroy your life. I'm sorry. ls means list contents. List, show me what's in my directory. Contents, list contents. List files and directories, basically. The A means show me all the files and directories. Show all, show everything, including the hidden files. What are the hidden files? Every directory may have some hidden files. Hidden file name starts with the dot. And take a look at this dot over here. Take a look at this file over here. This dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. If I did not have the A in here, these would not be included. We would not see these. We would not see these. So as a good practice, you always put the A in there. And the L stands for long listing. Long listing. Long listing basically means give me the description, full description. Let's take a look at this. So the tree file would show you the tree is a different command. I will talk about that. Let's take a look at the output of this ls-al. Sign by, if you have a problem or if you want me to uh, stress on something, you can always come on the microphone, and Nasser bhai, you can always come on the microphone and interrupt me and guide me and tell me what some of their questions are and address them over here, please, while we are teaching. Nasser, sign. Okay. So keep your microphones open and you can ask questions. We can make it like a conversation, like where, it will give a bit better understanding to our students. You know, if you think I need to elaborate on something, because I'm in my own zone and sometimes I'm a little disconnected with the students because they are asking you guys questions. So take a look at this over here. To the far right is the name of the file or directory. Name. So ladies and gentlemen, this whole section is where the file and directory name is found. Okay. This section over here, ladies and gentlemen, size. Size of file or directory. This first section over here to the far left determines whether it's a file or a directory. The D, obviously it's a directory. The dash is a file. You may see something else. We will talk about that later on. Okay. Now, color. These two sections, this section over here is the ownership. Who owns who's the owner of the file or directory? Okay. This section over here, I'm trying to go very, very slow for you guys, so you don't yell at me that I'm going. This section over here, pink. What do you think of this section over here? Is the time stamp when the file was created or directory was created, when it was last updated, the timestamp. Okay. Great job. Great job. Now that we understand this, you can take a picture of this, by the way, if you want. And these are permissions. Permissions. What can you do with the file what you cannot do. Can you read it? Can you write to it? Can you execute it? We will talk about this in another lecture. And what I really want you to know from this thing, if you can take away only two things, that this section is the name of the file or directory. All the way to the left side shows you that this is a directory, this is a file. We are in a win-win situation. So by looking at this over here, right over here, can you tell me, what can you tell me about this file? Is this a file or is this a directory? It's a file. How do I know this? Because of this dash all the way to the left side. What is this file name? The file name is file1. When was this last created? June 25th, 23rd hour, 4 second. How big is this file? 0. There's nothing in there. 0 byte. Who owns this file? Asad is the owner. That's all I want you to know. Take a look at this one. What can you tell me about this? What's the name of this file or a directory? What's the name of this? Pay attention, folks. I want you to develop listening skills, okay? What's the name of this file or directory? It's Red Hat. Is this file or a directory? It's a directory. Beautiful. Who is the owner of this directory? This is a directory. Who's the owner of this directory? Asad B. When was this last created or updated? June 28th. Beautifly. Beautifully. Now that I can run the tree command over here, and it will show me the output in different way. It shows me that in the dot, this dot means in my current directory, I have all of these files and directories. There's only one file, which is file1. Now, I don't want to keep this file. I want to remove it. I want to get rid of it. I want to delete it. In Windows, it would be right click and delete. Let me show you over here. If I wanted to delete a file, I can always go into some file over here, right click, and I can delete it. See this? Rename, delete. In Linux, because the images have been taken away from your life, the click is gone. It's all about command. And the command to remove a file is rm, followed by the file name, file1. And how do I check the file is gone? ls. The file is gone because I don't see file1 anymore there. I only see 2025 directory, class directory, OS, and Red Hat. Let's continue to follow our tree. Under the OS, I have 3 directories: Linux, Unix, and Windows. Under the OS directory, I have 3 directories: Linux, Unix, and Windows. Let's go ahead and create those. Let's see where I am right now. pwd. Oh, I'm in my home directory. What do I have in my home directory? I have these 3 directories: Put this in the center over here for you guys. Now I want to go into the OS directory and create subdirectories. Now I can go to cd OS. Remember, the cd will take me into a different directory. So I'm saying, hey, cd command, do me a favor, take me to this OS directory. And some of you will do this every time. I know this because I've seen this over the years. You will by default do this. Why you will do this? Because in your opinion, everything starts from the root and you need to have this. No, but this OS directory is not under root. Take a look at this path over here. Root is right here. This is where you are. For me, this is Asad B. For you, it could be anything. Under Asad B, I have OS directory. This OS directory exists under Asad B, not under root. But you will still make this mistake. Why? Because there's a learning curve. Unless you make a mistake, you're not going to learn it. And then it's going to say no such file or directory exists. And then it will say you cannot create that file. Let's go in here. Yeah, you see, how many of you made that mistake? How many of you made that mistake? There you go. I know all of you guys. Beautiful. At least you're honest. So let's not do this. Let's go to cd OS. Where am I right now? pwd ls. There's nothing in the OS directory, is empty. I can even run the tree command. There's nothing there. What do you want to create there? Well, this old man said create Linux, Unix, and Windows. I'm going to go ahead and create that. mkdir means make new directory or make directory. I'm going to create Linux, Unix, Windows. Why am I typing all three directories in one shot? Well, I have the option. I can do it in one shot or I can do it one by one. In one by one case, I would do mkdir Linux, mkdir Windows, mkdir Unix. Or I could have done mkdir Linux, Windows, Unix. And what will happen if I run this command one more time? Will it create two of these? Let's see. Oh no, it says I cannot create a directory because this already exists. File exists. They say in Linux, everything is a file. I don't want to confuse you on that right now. I will give you that philosophy another day. That's why the error says file exists. But how do you know this is a file or directory? Well, you run ls first, then you run ls al. Now, by looking at this output, you know, what can you tell me? Well, I can tell you that all of them are directories. They all belong to Asad. They all have this timestamp. And these are their names. And I have two hidden directories over there. By the way, you will notice one thing. Whenever you go to any directory, you will always see dot and dot dot. Every directory will have these two directories. I will explain you later on why we have those. Now that I have this, I can say tree. Now the tree command will always show me my current directory and its contents. What if I want to see my home directory tree? Slash home slash ASADB. Tree, hey tree command. I want you to show me this directory tree. What's in this directory? Ah, beautifly. Take a look at this. Hey tree command. Can you go and show me the contents in a tree structure for this directory, which happens to be under this directory, which happens to be under this directory? Sure, sure. Give me another color that will go best with this color. Contrast. Pink may work. Okay. Blue doesn't. Blue. Okay. Let's try the blue. Purple. Blue. Okay. It's not as strong as pink, by the way. Let's go with pink. You guys know this age belongs to pink now. Okay. Woman empowerment is there and we support it. So you gotta join them. You cannot beat them. Okay. So let's take a look at this directory, what we have over here. 2025 is a one directory I have. Class is another directory I have. OS is another directory I have. And these are all the subdirectories of the OS. If I had files and directories, it would show me more over here. Red Hat is another directory I have. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue to build this. Under Unix, under Linux, I have three directories: Kali, CentOS, and RHEL. So let's take care of this. Linux, Kali, CentOS, and RHEL. PWD, LS. Okay, so I need to create under Linux three directories: Kali, CentOS, and RHEL. Let's go ahead and type this. mkdir. No. Do I need to go into Linux first? Do I need to go to Linux first? Linux. Then you can do this. CD Linux and mkdir, Red Hat, CentOS, and RHEL. What did you say? No, no, Kali. Kali. You guys want to break over here or you want to continue for another 30 minutes? Honestly speaking, we're not doing that crazy amount of work. I want to leave you with some homework. I want to give you some work. Done. PWD, CentOS, Kali, RHEL. Okay, beautiful. I have that over there. I have that over there. I got it. Can I go back? By the way, if I use the arrow up key, I can bring commands from my history. Arrow up and arrow down. Arrow down. I need to go arrow up because I want to see now what does the picture look like. Beautiful. OS has Linux. Linux has three of these directories. Beautiful. Let's go to Unix and create Solaris and HP. Solaris and HP. So go to Unix and create Solaris and HP, okay? pwd ls. Unix is under OS, right? So I go one step. To go one step up, cd dot dot. Every directory has a directory dot dot and dot cd dot dot. Maybe it has something to do with that. We'll see. We'll see. Unix, cd Unix. What did he want us to create in Unix? Solaris and HP. Bring up the command from the history. Tree command to see my home directory structure. Ah, Linux, Unix. Beautiful. Let me see over here. And then Windows has 95, 98, and 2022. I'm going to do something crazy, which you're not going to like it, but I'm going to do it anyways. I am going to create directory in Windows. How? I'm in Unix right now. So I would have to get one step out, be under OS, and then under OS, I have Windows, and under Windows, I want to create 95. How did I do this? Hey, I'm using the exact path. This is not absolute path. This is exact path. I'm telling what to do. Hey, MK directory, go one directory back or up over here because I am in Unix. Go to OS. And then under OS, you will find 95. And under 95, you will create, sorry, under OS, you will find Windows. Under Windows, you will create 95. Will this work? Worked. Worked. I was in Unix and I created this. Another way of doing this, the right, I mean, the lazy, the hard way, meaning not the smart way, is cd dot dot cd Windows ls mkdir 98 2022. You could do the manual method absolutely fine. You don't need to get too fancy right now. Down the road, you will need to get fancy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a look at my structure over here. If I do a tree command on this, it will show me all of this structure. Let's take a look at this. Can I go to the up arrow key and bring the command from memory? Yeah, it works. Yeah, I could do this. Take a look at this. That's precisely the map I have. What this guy wanted me to do. Yeah. First of all, I have 2025. I have class. I have OS. Oh, the red hat is there too. I want you guys to do a copy paste on your tree and show it to me. All right, good question over here. How can we delete a directory that we accidentally created? I'm going to create a directory over here called mistake. Now I want to delete this directory called mistake. The command is rmdir remove directory mistake. And by the way, you don't always have to type in the whole name of the file or directory. You can just simply type the first two letters or first letter and hit the tab. This is called auto completion mistake. If you look at this over here, ls mistake is gone. Mistake is gone. I'm going to create another directory, mkdir, and I'm going to call it test1. And now I go into test1 and I create a empty file. I can create an empty file by using the touch command. Touch file 1 ls pwd. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a directory called test1. Under that directory, I have file1. I want to delete test1. The test1 has a file1 inside. So pwd ls. Let me go ahead and delete this test1 directory. Can I be inside a directory and then try to remove it? Or I have to go one step back? One step back. So let's go one step back. Because let's see over here. rmdir, I'm just showing you test1. rmdir is a command which essentially removes directories. It's looking for test1 directory in your current directory. There is no test1 in the current directory. You are sitting in it. You need to be outside of that. Now I have pwd ls. Now you can see test1 over here. Now you can remove it. rmdir test1. Oops. rmdir test1. The directory is there. The directory has a file inside. So it has some contents. Content means stuff. And when I try to remove it, it gave me an error message. Ladies and gentlemen, error message is your friend. Error message is your friend in Linux. It will help you to solve problems. So embrace error messages, accept them, and learn to read them. Listening and reading skills are required for this class. Listening and reading skills, very important for this class. Failed to remove test1. Directory not empty. Is that true? The test1 directory is not empty? I don't know. How can I find out? ls. Test1 is there. I can say tree, which shows me the test1 has a file1. R I can also say ls dash al test1. I can look into test1 even if I'm not inside the test1. Okay, I just did that. ls, and it shows me that I have a file in there. And then these two files are default. They're directories, they're default directories. They're born with it when you create a directory. So how can I remove a directory which has some stuff in it? Well, I would need to use another command called rm-r. rm is to remove a file. If I use the flag or option R, what will happen? Let's read the manual man rm. rm command will remove files or directories. I want to go to the option -r or -r. These are some of the bunch of options that I can use with the rm command. You remember every command gives you different powers, different options to use with the command. They are called flags. We, we can say -f, we can say -f, and it basically means ignore non-existing files and arguments. Just delete them without confirming anything with me. So that's the -f. I want to find the -r. -r. Remove directories and their contents recursively. Okay, recursively. If I said on a command line rm-r this directory, what does it mean? That it's going to remove files and directories recursively, one after another. The whole container will be wiped out. Whole container. Meaning this will be gone, this will be gone, this will be gone, this will be gone. This will be gone, 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 this. Every single thing will be gone, including itself. Dangerous command. Dangerous command to play with. Make sure you know what you're doing. I know a lot of people that lost their jobs due to this command. So powerful. Lucky you that you don't have root privileges right now. Otherwise, you will wipe out somebody's directory as well. There was a businessman that lost millions of dollars by this running this command on a production server which had no backups. Because if you delete a file or directory, and if you don't have a separate backup for your system, Linux is not going to have a recycle bin. There's no way you can recover deleted files and directories. Once it's deleted, it's gone. I mean, technically, there are ways which will take you long time. You might be able to recover some stuff, but out of the box, it's not like Windows where you go to your recycle bin and you recover from there. There's no recycle bin. There's no trash can in Linux. So if I go back over here, let me get out of this. And I say, I want to remove ls. I want to remove the test one. rm-r, hey, remove command. When I give the -r, it means I am wanting to delete a directory. Test one, most likely it has some subdirectories or files in it. I want to empty it out. I want to remove it from the face of this earth. ls, gone, wiped out, disappeared. Now, so far we covered the command pwd. Let's come over here. It's going to take you some time, okay? Don't get frustrated. pwd ls cd command, and we know cd alone will take you to a home directory. This is another thing I'm telling you over here. This sign is called tilde. Tilde basically means path to your home directory. Path to your home directory, whatever your home directory name is. If you are a user Asad, then it's your home directory Asad. If you're Alex, then your home directory is Alex. Just typing the tilde sign, you don't need to type this whole path. cd will always take you to your tilde. Tilde means your home directory. We learned the command mkdir. Create directories. We also learned rmdir. Removes empty directory. We learned the command rm. Remove files and directories. We learned the command tree. Shows you directory tree. Okay. We learned the command rm-r. Remove. I want to ask you one question over here, and I want to see if you really understand the difference between the R and the rm-r. If I want to remove a file, should I use the rm-r command? Is this advisable? Can I use it though? Can I use it? Can I use it? Absolutely, I can use it. But you don't need to, because the file does not have anything underneath it that you need to remove recursively. One after another. Recursive means one after another, deep inside the container, remove everything. You can use it, but it's not advisable. Vice versa, if I want to remove a directory, can I use the rm command? Simple rm command. Simple rm. The directory is empty. The directory is empty. Let's do this. Let's play this game. Here. mkdir, new directory. pwd ls rm New directory. No, you cannot. Can I use rm-r? Yes, that works. That works. That works. Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to ask you something over here. Um, oops, sorry. I want you. Oh, okay, sorry. All right, let's do this. Uh, Go to 2022. Sorry, 2000. Where's 2025? Another bit free. Got a little confused over here. Bring the tree command. All right, here. Okay. 2025 is right underneath my home directory. You see this tilde? This is what I was referring to. PWD, LS. The 22 is all the way in Windows, okay. Go to 2025 and create a file, touch file 2022. And then go to this directory and create a file 2025. Now, just that's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this file that I just created under 2025. But as a matter of fact, I can just create it in my home directory. I'm going to say touch, which to create a new file. New file. And now I want to copy this new file. I want to copy this. I want to make a backup copy. I want to copy this into I want to copy this into class. I want to make sure that I have another copy of this new file into class. I can use the command cp and then the file that I want to copy, new file, and where I want to copy into class. And now if I do ls, and now if I do ls-al on class, look, I have two files, new file and new file over here. Okay, so I gave you the copy command. The copy command, the way it works is this. Copy command works like this. Understand the syntax, how to write the copy command, how to use the copy command. CP is the command name. There's going to be space over here. Which file you want to copy. And then where to copy to. So in other words, this would be my source file. This would be my destination. Source means what you want to copy. Destination means where you want to copy. In this example, let's take a look at file. Let's just say I have a file in my home directory. I have a file called file 1. Okay. I want to copy this file 1 into the directory called class. So which file I want to copy? I want to copy this file. Where I want to copy? I want to copy over here. How am I going to do this? The command is going to be cp. This is the file that I want to copy. So I'm going to put that path over here. And then the path where I want to copy to without parentheses. cp slash home asset b slash file 1 space slash home slash asset b slash class. So I'm taking file 1 and I'm copying into class. Little complicated, but once you do this, you will be fine. Once you do this, you'll be fine. Do you always have to specify the path? That depends on where you are, where you're going, but specifying path always works. Why? What do I mean by that? Look over here. The new file is over here. All I need to say is copy new file. Now, where are you taking? Well, I need to specify the path where I'm taking. Otherwise, it's not going to go. Where am I taking this? I'm taking into home. Or I said B, and I can see when I hit the tab, it showed me all the options. I can take it to Red Hat. And just hit enter. Look, I said copy new file in here. Okay. This is the end of today's lecture. And in the PowerPoint, I have given you all of these commands right over here, along with what these commands do. You have access to your system 24/7. And if you care to change your life, you gotta learn this stuff. You know why? Because this runs the goddamn IT industry. Every single thing, pretty much, not 100%, 70% is sitting on Linux.